we've been helping health professionals build their businesses for almost a decade at this point, which is crazy to say. There's not a lot of people in the online space who have been around that long. So what I'm going to be doing here today, it's not actually similar to some of the other workshops that you might have joined, okay? Some of the other workshops that you might have joined are just like people lecturing and teaching you and then hard selling you. What I want to do today is I want to first teach you, then I want to actually do some implementation with you, because my big goal here is that you get some real value and you can actually implement the stuff. And I want to make sure that you're going to be set up to actually get results off of what we're talking about here today. So we got Bianca here, we got Sam here. Awesome, folks. Comment down below where you're watching in from. We got Kagan. Good to have you folks all here. We got a couple more people jumping on board here, so I'm just going to let them in. So here's what we're going to do today. Like I said, number one, I'm going to teach you about our mini ads. Then we're going to actually implement a little bit together. And then after the workshop, I'm going to give you some homework to do overnight. And I'm actually going to help coach you through some things tomorrow on this. So let's go ahead and get this rocking and rolling. I'm going to get my camera set up here, folks. So I'm going to be walking you through basically Instagram mini ads, okay? By the way, can you see this? Comment down below in the chat if you can see my camera, my hands, all that kind of stuff. I want to make sure that you can actually see everything all effectively. If you can, that's great. You folks can see it. Awesome, awesome. So here's what I want to do today. So most of you probably know that every health professional business needs to have three systems: an attraction system to get the right people to follow you, a conversion system, turn the followers into clients, and then a delivery system that turns clients into raving fans, retention, referrals, all that kind of good stuff. Here's the issue. A lot of you probably are pretty good at delivery, right? That's why you became a coach. You want to help people. And a lot of you probably are decent at conversion or maybe need a little bit of work. But here's the issue. Most people don't know how to attract the right amount of people or the right types of people so that you can actually get to $20,000 a month. Because getting to even a $10,000 a month, you need to have a lot of people coming into your system so that you actually have enough at-bats. And I often share about how I did a video this week where I was out there in the snow and I was like, if I put up a lemonade stand there, do you think that there would be a lot of people coming by my lemonade stand? No, it's because it's the wrong place, okay? There's not the right people there. And we want to make sure that you're putting up your lemonade stands on the hot beach like in Miami or in Florida or something where there's tons of people. And so when you have an attraction system that gets you a ton of followers, it makes business way, way easier. Okay, folks? So let's go ahead and kind of start to dive into this. Let's start by actually asking the question of why mini ads, okay? Here's the truth. A lot of people like you watching here today, you're probably a hard worker. You probably just aren't getting very many clients, right? Basically, it's kind of like if you were training for a marathon, but you kept on getting stuck at not being able to run 6 miles. You're putting in the effort, you're putting in the work, but you're not getting results. And that's really annoying. A lot of you have really great hearts. We attract a lot of people into our audiences who care so much about helping people. There's so many, I mean, how many of you got into coaching because you wanted to help people and you wanted to serve them and get paid for it as well? Comment down below if you're like me, that you're a little bit like, your heart bleeds a little bit for people, you want to help people. If that's you, comment down below in the chat. And frankly, a lot of you want to help people, but it's just like only a little bit of traction. You're not actually helping a lot of people. The other thing that we see happening all the time is people are confused because, okay, how many of you see so many different strategies on like Instagram or whatever, and like it becomes confusing because there's so many strategies, right? There's like this business coach telling you this mentor, this agency, this, and there's just so much going on. And sometimes you're just like, I'm confused on what it takes to actually get leads and get clients. If that's you, this workshop's going to be really helpful, and mini ads are going to be really helpful because it's a simple system. A lot of you want to do meaningful work. If you're anything like me, yes, I want to get paid well. I want to build my dream life, but I want to do work that actually excites me. Because I don't know about you, but I have had too many jobs and too many situations that I didn't love and I just hated. And you don't want to build a business to just realize that you hate it as well. So you want to have meaningful work that has a big gain. You want to have deep impact and great income. I was actually chatting with someone yesterday on Instagram, and they were talking about how They're like, oh, if you charge money, you're not actually helping people. And I'm like, no, no, no. This is where people get it wrong. If you don't make enough money, your business folds. If your business folds, guess what? You help no one. That doesn't help anyone. So we want to learn how to be successful in both income so that your business can last, and impact, because that's what fulfills you and drives you at the end of the day. So is this making sense so far, by the way? Are you like, oh, I tuned into the wrong webinar? Or is this making sense? You need to have purpose and get paid for that purpose. I love that, Morgan. Well said. Comment down below if this is resonating, folks. This is why you need mini ads. What would it feel like? This is what I want you to imagine. What would it feel like if you were able to have a strategy that was clear, not confusing? You're able to get a lot of leads, a lot of people signing up for your program, helping a lot of great people, and making good income so you're not stressed out all the time. Right? How would that feel? I don't know about you, but that's why I got into business, and that's why I built my business in a specific way. And that's what these mini ads are going to do for you folks. Okay? So, and before we go into any depth, like, I want you to know, like, all the people that we're working with right now in CCI, and I'm talking all of them. Okay, this isn't like a strategy that some of our clients use. Every single client who comes into our program, we get them a mini ad up. Like, we try to do it in the first 7 days because we want people to win really quickly. I would like following a workout program, but for business. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it'd be like, Sam. So here's the truth. All of our clients right now who are doing 10K a month, 20K a month. I even interviewed one of our functional nutritionists last week who got to her first $50,000 a month, are using these mini ads. And it was the thing that unlocked their businesses. I interviewed Aaliyah last week. Before working with us, she was doing $2,000 a month. 6 months later, she's doing $50,000 a month. And she's getting all of her clients coming from these mini ads, which is just insane. And so what I'm teaching you here today is exactly what we give our clients. I'm not holding back. I'm going to give you all the value. Plus, you're all going to be getting an email tomorrow with the free Instagram mini ads course because you showed up live. And so that being said, I want to dive into this and start rocking and rolling. Does that sound fair? Are you folks excited? Are you ready? Comment down below ready if you are ready. By the way, I get people to comment down below stuff, so it gives me a second to drink my water, because otherwise my voice completely dies. Well, Sam is on. Good to see you, Sam. Keegan. We got Margaret. Oh, Margaret's our admin person here at CCI. Margaret, you're not supposed to be working anymore. Bianca's here. Almighty Chris. I love it, folks. So here's the truth. We got two different things that we need to understand if you want to have mini ads work for you. You want to, obviously there's the ad part about it, but you have to become attractive first before we want to send people to your profile. Here's actually something that's very interesting that I want a lot of you to think about. Back in the day, a lot of people had these things. Guess what they were called? Websites. Do you remember those? Who here remembers websites? A lot of people had these websites, right? So websites was the things where we sent traffic to, right? We had our websites and they had the like about section, and they had the like learn about me, or they had the programs. They had all these like different sections to them, and we sent traffic to them, right? And I get asked this all the time. You don't need a website. Guess what? Like, no one goes to websites anymore. Here's the truth. Your Instagram is a modern day website, okay? Your Instagram right now, your Instagram profile is your website. And so we want to send traffic to your Instagram so that, guess what? You have more people coming out and checking out your stuff. But to make sure that you can actually send people to your Instagram and they're actually going to like follow, we need to optimize your Instagram. Just in the same way that you will have heard back in the day, people talked all the time about optimizing their website so that when they send traffic to it, that they had like a lot of people like actually clicking stuff. You want to do the same thing for your Instagram. So I'm going to go walk through this quickly for you because we want to make sure that you are attractive before we start attracting people. It's kind of like in a dating app. By the way, I never used a dating app. I'm too old, apparently. Who has used a dating app? I've heard they're terrible. But basically on a dating app, or so I'm told, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. You want to make sure that your profile looks a certain way so it attracts like the type of person you would want to like date. Right? Can anyone correct me if I'm wrong on this? Like you basically upload, I think, some pictures, like your hobbies, your interests, a little bit about you, all those different things with the whole goal of attracting your type of person. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that you are going to start to attract the type of person that you want into your program. And so you have a couple different options here. And there's 4 different things that you want to make sure you're doing so that your profile becomes attractive, okay? By the way, I actually have a workbook. I don't know, maybe some of you already have it. You can message me on Instagram if you want this. I have a workbook that goes through this in depth to basically help you prime your profile on Instagram. If you want it later, just send me a DM on Instagram. But basically, this is your Instagram profile here. Let's walk through what you need to do. Okay, so to become attractive, we have a 4-part framework. Let me walk you through exactly what this is. So to make your profile attractive, we need to do 4 different things. Number 1, we have to make sure that it's specific, okay? Because here's the truth. Some people are attracted to some things, some people are attracted to other things. So you need to make sure that your profile is specific to an individual. I'm gonna just say here, by the way, every single one of our clients who's gone to 10K, 20K, 40K months, every single one of them became a specialist and stopped being a generalist that thinks that they can help everyone. So if that's one of your beliefs here today, that like you cannot niche down, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to be a bit of a bummer. You have to get specific. So the first thing is get specific. Now, where can you be specific? There's a couple different places, but here's where I want you to get specific. When you're setting up your Instagram profile, you have your name here, right? You have your name here. But guess what goes here? There is SEO words that you put here that when you search on Instagram, your name will come up if you are using words here like, let's say, women's nutritionist or Hashimoto's for women or endometriosis dietitian. This is what's searchable on Instagram. So, and I'll give you a real life story of this. My wife, Terry, she runs all the operations behind here at CCI. She's amazing. She was looking for a triathlon coach because guess what? She does triathlons. Guess what she did? She searched on Instagram, triathlon, like women's coach for a triathlon coach for women, something like that. Guess what? Someone popped up who wasn't like, didn't have a big following. I think they had like 300 followers, but she liked the account so much, she just bought from them. Okay, that's where you want to get specific. So that's the first thing. Make sure that when you're putting something in here, it's SEO friendly. The second place you want to be specific is in your bio. You want to call out your ideal client avatar in your bio. Now, actually, let's do a test. Let's do a test. Who's your ideal client? Comment down below who your ideal client is, because this is going to show me who of you already know that you need to be a specialist versus maybe some of you that need to work on this. Go ahead and comment that one down below. So you're being specific in the SEO. You're being specific in calling out your ideal client avatar in your bio. And then also you want to make sure, and we'll talk about this, but that your pinned posts here on Instagram are set up in such a way that you're calling out your ideal clients as well. So Billy Jo said she's working on her ideal client. Yes, we are working on it. If you have an ideal client avatar, comment it down below. Women with chronic pelvic pain, any mentions in IBS. I like that, Arisha. I think that we might need to narrow it in onto what's the biggest pain point and then what are the symptoms, but I really like that. So this is the first thing. You need to be specific on your profile. Like if I was to say on my profile, helping businesses get more clients, I could be talking about e-commerce. I could be talking about like real estate. I could be talking about so many different types of businesses, and I would attract all these different types of people. I don't want to attract all those types of people. I want to attract a very specific type of person. So if you go look at my profile, you will see exactly what I'm talking about here. So that's the first thing that you need to do. You need to become specific. So that is the S. Number V, you need to become valuable. Okay, so number 2, you actually have to be valuable. Guess where you can become valuable. This is where you are going to look at your pinned posts. Because guess what? There are studies done that when people come to your profile, guess what they look at first? They do look at your like Instagram bio, that's for sure, but they actually go look at your most recent post and your Instagram stories of the day. Okay? And here's a question I have for you. If someone were to go look at your Instagram stories today, or like the last post or 2 that you made, or the pinned ones at the top, would they know exactly who you work with? Maybe some of you have already set this up. Fantastic. If you haven't, this is the next step that you need to be working on, okay? And so make sure your pinned post, so here, I'm just gonna give you a quick formula here. Basically, you wanna have one pinned post that talks about your story. Basically, it's kind of like who you are. Then you wanna have one pinned post that has social proof, okay? Social proof, basically like results you've gotten people. And then you want to have one that's called the value one. The value one basically gets people to comment down below, do a call to action to grab some free resource of yours, right? Providing value to people. Because here's the truth. People are not going to follow you if they don't think that you have value for them, okay? We very much live in a day and age of social media where value is absolutely critical. If you go to a page and like there's just no value, it's just random posts, it's not calling anyone out, you're not going to follow them, right? You're not going to follow them. By the way, Morgan, love the niche. Sam, love the niche. Bianca, love the niche. So you need to be specific, but you also need to be valuable. Now, here's point number 3. This one is a big one. You got to be likable. This actually gets on some people's nerves. Here's why you need to be likable. I'm sure a lot of you have come across business coaches on Instagram that they probably were specifically calling you out, and they probably showcased that they had some value, but you just hated their personality. Let's be honest. And there's nothing wrong with that. We jive with some people. We don't jive with other people. And that's just the way humans work. But you want to be likable to the types of people that you want to work with, right? Like in my space, there's a lot of business coaches who are super bro-ish. They're kind of douchey. They're kind of like yelling at you. And I kind of laugh at it because I think it's kind of funny. And maybe some of you are turned off by that. But you want to be likable. So what you want to do is make sure when you're in your story, the pinned post that talks about you and your story, share a little bit about your personality. Like be yourself, be your true authentic self, because the best way to stand out on social media is to just be authentically who you are, because there's no one else like you, okay? So you need to be likable so that people actually want to be in your system. Fourth and final piece to this is you have to be trustworthy, okay? So people need to trust you. And this is where the social proof pinned post is going to be very important. Oftentimes, also, people will put some type of like results in their Instagram highlights, right? Results. So when you have these 4 things, okay? When you have these 4 things, when you are specifically talking to someone with calling them out, your ideal client avatar, you showcasing real value, you're building trust through social proof, and you're likable, this is what makes your profile attractive, okay? You have just made your website, your Instagram, you don't need a website. You've just made it super attractive to a specific type of person who's looking for value to solve a pain point. They want to work with someone that they're actually going to like working with, like as a human being, because people buy just as much your results as they buy you as a human, okay? There's many times I've wanted to buy something from someone, and then they said something really dumb or stupid or offensive, and I'm like, nope. And you have to be trustworthy, okay? So those are the 4 keys to making your profile attractive. Now, why do we do all of this? This might sound like a lot of work. Do you know what the difference is? When we get into the mini ad, I'm going to show you what the difference is right here. This is the difference between getting 5 followers a day and the difference of getting 50 followers a day. I'm not even joking here. This is the difference between having a great, attractive profile and a terrible profile, okay? Now, here's the benefit for you. I want you all to give yourself a self-rating right now on a scale of 1 to 10. And I don't want you to sugarcoat it. I want you to be brutally honest. 1 being like, this, my profile is terrible. It's not doing any of this. 10 being, I am literally the class rock star. I got all of this. I'm ready to rock and roll. Where would you rate yourself? I want to know right now. And I want you to comment down below. Psalm says a 4. Okay, I love the honesty. Bianca says a 3. We got an 8. We got a 1, 6. Folks, I love the honesty here, okay? I was hoping that everyone was going to be like 10, 10, 10, 10. And I was going to be like, why are you folks even on here if you're all 10s? And I'm kidding. Marisha says a 4. Almighty Chris, 3. By the way, Chris, I like the Almighty Chris. I love the name. Devin says 3. So I want you folks to work on this. And like I said, if you need help, like even more specifics on this, I have a little workbook. I don't have it on me right now. I can send it to you folks to like line through line, walk you through how to do this. Just send me a message on Instagram saying something to the effect of like Instagram profile optimization, something that we can send you something. We got a 1. Okay, so this is the first thing that you need to do. So when you jump off of this workshop here today, I want you to work on this. So I want you to work on a couple different things. Number one, the name and SEO part, okay? So we want that. Then we want to have your bio calling out your ideal client. That's number two. The link that you have, the only advice I have for you there is one link. Either like booking a call with you or grabbing a free resource. That's it. One link. Okay, just keep it simple. You can have highlights, or you don't have to have highlights. They're not the most important thing, but if you have highlights, have some type of like results of working with you. And then have the pinned post, right? So results, that could be number 3. And then the pinned post, number 4. Okay, so those are the most important things to make sure that it's attractive. Follow the specific, valuable, likable, and trustworthy framework, and you'll get there. Is this making sense, or is this completely going, is this too complicated? If it makes sense, comment down below. It makes sense. So here's what you can think about this now, is basically we have just, with this, become attractive to a very specific individual because we're calling them out, we're naming their pain, we're talking about what value or what goals that they want to go after. We've literally called ourselves the authority figure for them, right? Like if I need a physiotherapist and I see someone's like, my name is Sam, the physiotherapist. I'm like, right, that's the authority figure for me. So you have the authority, you have the value, you're calling them out, you're specific to them, they are going to follow you, okay? So this is making sense so far. I've taken 22 minutes to get here, folks. I need to speed up, but that's okay. So, and the reason I wanted you to see this down here is because we have sometimes people who come into our program who've tried some ads, okay? I mean, actually, comment down below. Who of you have tried ads before? Who of you have not? Let's do a yes or a no. Yes, if you have done ads. No, if you haven't done ads. Wow, there's fireworks going on here, so clearly something's going on. So some people tried some ads, some people haven't. A lot of people, because they don't do this foundational work properly, they get these results. They get really bad results with ads because they do not first fix the foundation. They don't make themselves attractive, right? So we have some people who've done ads, some people who've not done ads. So this is where a lot of our clients come in. I mean, our clients who nail this, we have one of our clients, Danica, freaking crushing it. She's getting 100 followers per day with this system, whereas some of our clients are only getting like 30, 40, 50, which is still great. But because she nailed it so freaking hardcore, she's getting 100 per day, which is actually a little bit too many. She's having trouble keeping up with all of the leads. So when you become attractive, guess what? You start to actually get better results. Now, let's talk about the mini ads themselves. By the way, how many of you have seen our content around mini ads and like looked at it a little bit? Have any of you like watched our trainings on mini ads? Comment down below if you have. I'm curious how many of you have done this. The basic idea behind a mini ad is that you do not need to set up a crazy back end ad, okay? Here's the cool thing about mini ads. It can be set up literally in 5 minutes. And right now, our average client, okay, some clients are getting worse results, some clients are getting better results. Our average client is getting a 12 times return on ad spend. What that means, the average person, and again, this isn't like some people get worse results, some people get better. This is an average. The person on average spend $100, make $1,200, which is insane, absolutely insane. The difference between this and an ad that you would set up on the background is that instead of setting this up in like Facebook Meta, we simply boost an Instagram post. Now, there's a lot of specifics that go into it. Okay, so I'm not trying to oversimplify it to the effect of like just boost something, but we're just basically making a post, putting it on Instagram, clicking the boost button, and I'll walk you through kind of how to do this today. And that's why it's so much simpler and easier than a lot of other strategies, okay? And again, I've had so many people say the same thing to me as far as like, Ruben, I've tried boosting posts. And a lot of it doesn't work because, again, this isn't set up properly or your conversion system behind the scenes isn't set up properly. So Morgan says she's watched the training. Awesome, love that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk you through here the 4 main components of what you need to do to set up your own boosted post, okay? And not only am I gonna walk you through this, but then we're actually gonna go ahead and like do a little bit of this together because I wanna actually get you kind of like halfway to the point of having a boosted post out there. And then I want tomorrow for all of you to have a boosted post out there. Because here's the truth. I could do this workshop and I could just basically be like, this is what you should do. This is why you should do it. And then like leave it there. I want to go one step further. I want to actually get you to implement this. And it's actually one part selfless and one part selfish. It's selfless because I want you to actually implement this and get wins for yourself. So I want to help you. So that's the selfless part. But here's the selfish part. I want you to implement this and get amazing results and be like, ooh, Ruben and CCI, they know their shit. I should work with them. I want both of those things. I want to help you, and I also want you to actually see that we know our stuff and you want to work with us. Is that fair? Is that fair to have both of those things be true? I think it is. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through the 4 main components of how you're going to set this up. I'm actually even going to show you an example. Okay, I'm going to show you an example mini ad from one of our clients right now so that you can kind of get a bit of a visual of this. Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you the example. And then we're going to move into actually breaking this down like one step at a time. So I'm going to show you an example of one of our clients who is this is actually the one I was talking about, who is doing 100 new followers per day. By the way, quick question. If you had 100 new followers coming to your Instagram per day, who were ideal clients, like they were the right demographic, they had the right pain points, and they were looking for a solution, what would happen with your business? Would it stay the same? Would it grow? Would it shrink? Comment down below. What would happen if you got 100 people? Kaboom. Yeah, 100%. 100% kaboom would happen. I love that. I love that. So here, let me go. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I'm going to allow myself to share my screen. I'm going to share with you folks exactly one example of this. So this is Danica, one of our clients. She's amazing. She's from up here in Canada, like us. This is her mini ad. Super simple. So we're going to talk through a couple of these things. We're going to talk through the visual, like the video, the B-roll that we talked about. We're also going to talk through the text that is on the screen and what she's doing with that. Then we're going to talk actually about the music quickly, not just because the music is going to get you more followers, but because you have to have it royalty free. And then we're going to talk about the caption and why it's important to have the caption this way. Okay, so I'm going to stop presenting this. It'd be easy to do those daily DMs. Yeah, it'd be very easy to do daily DMs if you were getting that amount of followers. So let's come back to the camera. So the visual, first of all, it doesn't need to be, a lot of people, by the way, don't like to do ads because they feel like they have to have like a fancy setup. And they have to have they have to talk to the camera and they have to have a nice script. You can do what we call B-roll. You saw in this video how she literally just was sitting there with a morning cup of coffee, and then she got up and walked a certain direction. Okay, so you just need to have a very simple B-roll. Now, here's the cool thing. We've actually had a couple clients like test out some fun stuff. So we've had some clients like test out like where they like kind of like did something funny in the B-roll video, where they like slid across their desk or different things like that. But it just needs to be a simple video of you. And I do not want you to overcomplicate this. This could be literally you, like a video of you just like kind of like looking at the camera like this and like holding something or drinking something. It could you be walking down the sidewalk. Do not overcomplicate it, okay? Just a visual. I find that the outside stuff or like something that kind of catches people's attention is a good idea. But you want a simple video of basically, you should be in it, by the way. Okay, a lot of you are like, I don't want to be in my content. You got to be. People buy from you as a human, okay? We talked about this. So it needs to be you doing something simple. So you just doing something like a little bit active as far as like walking around or sitting down in something or whatever it might be. So you're going to shoot this video tonight or tomorrow morning, okay? How many of you can I actually, by the way, I want some commitment here, because if you're just here to listen to this but not do anything, it's kind of a waste of time, okay? I want you to listen to it and do something. Who of you are actually going to get this post up in the next 24 hours, okay? I want to get some commitments here, because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take little screenshots and then I'm going to make sure that people are actually doing this. Comment down below in the chat if you're going to do this. So a simple B-roll video, okay? It's going to be basically you doing something very, just did it a few days ago. Love it, Sam. Bianca's going to do it. Anna's going to do it. Great. So that's the first thing. The video is like the simplest thing in the world. You could literally just like, I could go walk outside right now, okay? I could go walk outside, set up my camera somewhere, and I could just go do it, okay? It doesn't have to take a lot of time. So that's what I want you to do, the first thing. The second thing is the text, okay? Now this is where I want you to be paying a lot of attention, okay? Because a lot of people, they're just like, I'm gonna throw whatever I want on the screen. We do not want you to throw whatever you want on the screen. This is where we need to get incredibly specific. I'm going to write this down, but I'm also going to share the example. Again, I'm going to share my screen. On the text on the screen is what actually is calling out to your ideal client. Okay, this is the call out. Remember what we just talked about, becoming their type. Who's your ideal client avatar? Getting specific. Let's make this congruent. The person you call out here, the specific person that you want to work with, that you have in your SEO, that person needs to be the exact same person you call out here. Otherwise, this whole system breaks down. You need to have a call out on the, we call it the top of the funnel. This mini ad is the top of your funnel. It's where people find out about you from the first time. Guess what happens when they click on this reel? They go to your profile. If you're calling out a different person on the ad and then on the profile, that's incongruency and people will move along. They will not follow. So the text is going to be POV, and then it's going to be basically call out you are a, and then you put your ideal client avatar. You put your ideal client avatar who struggles, and then you put pain points and symptoms. Okay. Now, by the way, I also have a workbook on all of this that I'm going to send to all of you afterwards. But basically, I'm going to go back and share the screen of this example so that you can see this again in real live action. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second. Bear with me. So I'm going to come back to this. So watch this. POV, you finally find an account for diabetics that helps you shed stubborn weight, regain energy, and stop being a slave to blood sugar chaos. Okay, that first bit, I'm going to replay it for you. You finally find an account for diabetics that helps you basically shed stubborn weight, right? Pain point and symptoms, regain energy, stop being a slave to blood sugar and chaos. Okay, so that's the first line. Now we have a second line here as well. So a second line pops in about 3 seconds in, as you probably just saw there. That's very intentional because our attention spans are short as humans. And so if you have another thing pop into this mini ad 3 seconds in, you have more people watching it. And the second one here, as you can read, says, and fills your feed with real actionable steps to help the root cause instead of cutting carbs and relying only on meds. This is diabetes done differently. Okay, so basically in a very short amount of text, she calls out diabetics who basically want to do this, they're struggling with this, and then it's like, and you come to my account basically, and it fills your feed with actionable steps to help with what? Heal the root cause instead of cutting carbs, having a bunch of like common things in here. Okay, this is so actionable right here. When someone who is a diabetic reads that, and it's gonna call them out. But is this making sense? Comment down below, folks. I want to make sure that this is making sense. This is so very important. You need to know your ideal client so well, because once you know them better, you're going to be able to talk to them better. So the text on the screen is going to be the biggest thing. This is the biggest reason, in my opinion, why your mini ad is going to do great or terrible. And so this is where you do not want to skimp. You do not want to skimp or just like throw something random up. You want to do a really good job with this, okay? Now, music, the only thing that you need to make sure here that it's royalty free, okay? Because when you spend money on something to boost it out to Instagram, if it's not royalty free, it's not going to let you do it. So pretty simple. Make sure that the music is royalty free. If you don't know how to find royalty free music, you can literally in the Instagram music thing, just type royalty free. Or you can go to like ChatGPT and be like, hey, what's some good royalty-free music on Instagram that I can use with my reel? It can list some stuff. You can search it. You can find it. Okay, that's simple enough. And so you have a simple B-roll that you shoot. Again, this should take you a couple minutes. Writing the text, I'm okay if this takes you more like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, make sure you're doing a good job here. Choosing the royalty-free music should take 1 minute. Okay, very, very simple. And then the caption. The caption's another thing that's going to be really, really important for you. By the way, wow, the sun's just streaming into my window here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, I had to take a second for that. So we're going to go back and I'm going to show you the caption. There's a couple things that are going to be very important with the caption, because here's the truth. Some people are caption people. Some people, they click on a video, but then they read the caption instead of actually continuing to watch the video. So in this example, there's a couple different things. We start with follow and tagging her account, because when we send this out to people, we want people's initial reaction to be a follow. Because the whole idea behind a mini ad is that you can get so many of the right followers for so cheap who will pay for your services. So very simple, follow at Danica for content that helps you. And then we go into the whole like, take control of this. Basically like take control of your blood sugar, right? Shed stubborn weight, get rid of this pain, finally feel steady energy all day without extreme diets or burnout, right? So very nice sentence like this. And then there's like a little bit of a write-up. After working with diabetics and struggling with blood pressure, I've noticed something. Most solutions out there don't work. So this is kind of like you've tried all these different things. It hasn't worked for you. This is why it hasn't worked for you. And this is what I'm going to help you with, right? Basically, this page is different. I'm here to, and then goes into her kind of method or her way of doing things. And then look forward to connecting here. Drop your questions in the comments or send me a DM anytime. I love hearing from you. Okay. So a nice caption. So we're doing a couple different things in this caption. Okay. So in this caption, we're basically, again, we're calling out people. Okay. So we're getting specific again with people. So we're calling them out. We're telling them what to expect. We're telling them why we are different, okay? And making sure that we are tagging our accounts, okay? This is a mini ad done right, okay? This is a mini ad set up in such a way that you are using our exact framework. And by the way, a lot of people are like, oh, do you give a strategy to all our clients? Yes, we give it to all our clients because it works so freaking incredibly well. And so you're going to first, I'm going to kind of go back here, make yourself attractive. Then you're going to start to set up an ad that's going to attract the right people to you and your business. Okay. So now, and here's the crazy thing. So this works for if you already have a following or if you're starting a brand new page. Danica, who I showed you, she had 50 followers when she joined our program. Now she has something like 15,000 or 18,000. So if you like, literally, if you started a brand new page, this would work for you. Or if you already have 5,000 followers, this will work for you, okay? It's helped our clients get to 10K, 20K months, no matter if they have 10 followers or if they have 10,000 followers, okay? The reason it works well is not only does it grow your audience, which grows your engagement, gets more people commenting on stuff, but it just gives you a lead flow of the right people seeing your stuff, okay? So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break here, folks. Any specific questions on this so far? I wanna make sure that if any of you have questions on this, I'll answer like one or two main questions if they come in right now, and then we can kind of get to the rest of the workshop. Any specific questions so far? If not, we're just going to move on. Do you have to include music for the ad to work? You don't actually have to include music, but we would recommend it. People are more likely, especially because it's B-roll, and you're not talking in it, it's going to actually get better engagement if you have music in it. So we'd highly, highly recommend that. That's perfect. If you have no other questions, let's keep rocking and rolling. The whole idea behind these ads is, and I always keep coming back to this. The reason that most entrepreneurs are not at $20,000 a month, your health practitioners or fitness coaches, is simply not enough people, the right people, know about you. That's just the truth. I mean, here's the truth. How many of you feel like you have way more leads and way more people in your audience than you can handle? It's probably no one here. And it's because as new entrepreneurs moving into social media, there's so much competition. There's so much going on out there, and it's harder to grow your audience than it used to be. Okay, that's just the fact. In fact, you want to know something funny? I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot with this one. 6 years ago, we told people, oh, you don't have to spend money on ads. You don't need a lot of followers coming in, because in 2020, guess what? All of our clients crushed it organically. Social media changed so much since then, and we realized it, and we're like, we need to evolve ourselves so that we can teach our clients how to evolve. And the cool thing is now our clients are getting better results than they ever have, which is crazy. They're getting faster results. I mean, some people, they join the program, they get the ad up They're getting clients in a week or two, which is just insane. And so we're so stoked on this, which is why I'm just like, I'm going to give all this value away for you folks here today. So that's the whole idea behind this. Now, what I want to do is I want to go through metrics here quickly for you folks, just because I want you to understand like the logic behind some stuff. And then I actually want you folks, I want to kind of go through a little bit of implementation of what this should look like and how you folks can get this set up. Does that sound good? Is everyone doing good? Is anyone sleeping? If you're sleeping, wake up. Is everyone awake? Is it great? Okay, awesome. So love to hear it. I want to make sure, because if I'm putting you to sleep, I'm doing a terrible job. Doing a terrible job of the work that I should be doing. So now let's talk goals for your business right now. What's your main goal? Are you wanting to get to 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month? What's the business revenue that you would like to have? Let's just say in the next 3 to 6 months. And I'm talking about consistent revenue, not just like a one-time thing, because a lot of business coaches will teach you a strategy to get you to a 10K a month and then you never hit it again. What kind of consistent revenue would you like to have? Billy Joe says $20,000 to $40,000 a month. I love that. How about the rest of you folks? I'm sure you're here to learn how to get more business revenue so that you can like your business more, it can feel lighter, and you can get more clients. Solomon says $30,000 a month. Awesome. How about the rest of you folks? Because we need to always think about revenue is one metric, but we have to think about the other metrics that lead up to it so that you can actually understand how to plan things effectively. Kagan says 20,000 not leads. 10K feels realistic right now. Well, Sam, if 10K feels realistic, maybe push it a little bit. I always say push it a little bit. How about the rest of you folks? Comment down below. I only got 5 of you commenting down below. There's like 30 of you on here. I want to know. Again, I need to be specific. These are averages. These are averages. That means that some people need to make more of this happen. Some people need to make less of it happen, but these are kind of the averages. Morgan says 20K, Omar is 10K. Love it. Dr. Devin, 80K plus. Awesome. We have some health professionals doing 80K a month, even 100K a month. Love that. So here's what we've seen on average. If you want to get to 10K months, you need to get 100 new followers per week. 20K months, about 200 followers per week. 50K months, about 500 followers per week. Okay. And now that might seem insane to some of you because the audience just isn't really growing at this point. It's just not really actually doing much of what you want it to do. But here's the cool thing. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what our clients are seeing as far as numbers go. Most of our clients coming in are spending $10 per day on mini ads. Okay. $10 a day. So that equals out basically $300 a month. Okay. $300 per month. That's not crazy. A lot of other ad agencies will tell you that you need to spend like $1,500 to $2,000 a month to start, okay? Which is why we tell people don't go get an agency. They'll overcharge you. You'll spend so much money on ads, and then guess what? You'll never know how to do ads yourself, and therefore you didn't actually learn how to fish. You just got given a fish, and you're not in control. We don't want that. $300 a month is kind of where we get people to start. Now, there's a bit of a range here. Again, the range here is based off of how attractive you can make your profile on Instagram. So this, again, always comes back to becoming the attractive type. On the low end, we have people who are getting 10-cent follows. Okay, that means that for every dollar they spend, they get 10 followers, which also means that if they're spending $10 a day, they get 100 followers per day, right? Like a Danica. I showed you a Danica. On the high end, people are spending about 50 cents per follow, okay? So that's what they're usually spending. So on this end of things, if they're spending $10 a day, this is 100 new followers per day. On this end of things, it's closer to about, I think, 20 new followers per day. Now, here's the cool thing. Even the people who are on this end of things, like spending a higher amount to get a follower, they're still making a greater return, okay? They're still making that 12x average. People on this end usually are making a higher return, but we try not to tell everyone about those results because they're kind of almost too crazy to talk about. So this is where you can see, okay, let's just even say we're on this end, 20 people per day, okay? So in a month, that's about 620 new followers, which is pretty crazy, actually. I mean, how many of you would even be happy with an extra 600 leads per month? Give me a thumbs up or a comment down below a yes if you can be happy with 600 leads per month. I mean, never mind on this end of things, obviously it could be closer to like 2,000 to 3,000. So this is what we're thinking about. Now, we also have the metric when you run a mini ad of like, how much does it cost you to get a profile visit, right? So again, there's a range on this. On the low end, we're talking about like 3 cents. On the high end, we're talking about like 10 cents, basically to get a profile visit. Now, the reason that we actually get people to still track this is because the lower, basically, if your like cost per profile visit is very comparable to the follower, that means you're converting tons of people. Like a lot of people who go to your profile follow you, which means, again, harkening back, you made your profile really attractive to them. So that's why we still track this. Now, this is a little bit of the heady stuff. I didn't want to spend too much time here, but I wanted you to get a bit of an idea of what this looks like, okay? So those are the metrics that we're looking at. The return on ad spend is obviously the biggest one. Our goal at a minimum is that people do an 8 to 10x. Again, our average is higher than this. But our goal is that if you spend, let's say, well, $300 a month, right? Because that's where we start people. On average, if we spend $300 a month, we want you to at least be making 2.5K to 3K, okay? Like that's the low end. Here's the cool thing. Most of our clients are making a lot more than that. And my liability team doesn't like me to tell all the time, but usually people who are getting 600 followers coming in per month doing like the 20K months. So on the low end, you're making a great return. If you're on one of our average clients, you get good at, and this is where you have to get good at all the other things like delivery, conversion, etc. But if you get good at this is what's going to get you to 20K months really, really quick. So who wants it? Let's actually build this out here for you folks. I want to spend a little bit of time here actually implementing and showing you behind the scenes so that after this workshop, you can actually go do some work, get this set up, and actually run it tomorrow. What I want is by this time tomorrow, not only is your mini ad up, but I want you messaging me being like, Ruben, I got 10 followers, I got 20 followers. I have people coming in and checking out my stuff. Would that seem like a win-win for all of you folks? Comment down below a yes if that would feel like a win to, in 24 hours from now, already be seeing results from this. People would think that's a win. Awesome. So here's what I want you folks to do. By the way, all of this, I am going to be basically coaching you and auditing your stuff for free. So here's what I want you folks to do. I want you, and you can do this tonight, by the way. I might not answer tonight, but I'll answer first thing tomorrow morning. I promise. I'm very active on social media. I want you to film your B-roll. I want you to write up the text on basically the screen, the text that you're going to write on the screen, and your caption. And I want you to DM me and be like, Ruben, give me feedback on this, okay? And I will give you feedback on all of it. My goal is that I don't have to give a ton of feedback because you are following the advice that we're giving, but I want you to go ahead and do this. And then we're going to go ahead and post it. My goal is that by noon tomorrow, all of you have filmed, got the text, the caption over to me. I've given you the feedback back and it's posted. I want this posted by 12 MST tomorrow so that by 5 MST tomorrow, it will have actually started to spend a little bit of money and get you followers, okay? So here's what I want to do to just kind of start this here today. I want us to start by just writing out the first bit of the text on the screen together, okay? Because I find that sometimes people just need help getting things started, and then you can kind of take things from there. So here's where I want us to start here today, because I wanted this to actually be like implementable. So I'm going to put this in the chat down below. So it's like POV, you find a, I'm going to say account for health professionals who are struggling to get clients. I want you folks to follow this format here and comment your version down below. So POV, you find an account for, you call your ideal clients with pain points. I want everyone to do this, all 28 of you. If I don't count 28, I will find you and I will call you out publicly. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Well, maybe I should. Maybe the accountability. But I want you to all do this here because a lot of people, they don't actually take any action off of this. If you want results, you have to take action because knowledge by itself is useless. So go ahead and comment down below the first bit. POV, you found a coach for ex-athletes. So Sam, first thing off the bat, let's not say the word coach, because the whole idea is like we want people to find your account. We want to follow. So take out the word coach because it's going to like already raise a little bit of sales resistance for people. So you found a account for ex-athletes who want to get back in shape without spending hours in the gym. That's pretty good, Sam. And then, by the way, folks, other folks might start commenting, have bigger pain points, right? Have something bigger that is like really eating at them, right? Get back in shape without spending hours in the gym. What's the pain point there? What's the deep-seated like thing that's really bothering them? So take out the coach bit and get bigger on the pain point, okay? I'm waiting for someone else to comment, okay, folks? I really want you to implement this with me. So you find an account for coaches and healers who are struggling to create consistent income in their business. Awesome. I like this. Sam, I think let's just dig deeper on the pain point. Erica, you found an account for busy women 30 plus. I like that. Instead of busy women, Erica, maybe do like business owner women or like entrepreneurial women or even like busy professionals. If you use some of those qualifiers, you get people who sometimes have a little bit more money, who are starting to stay consistent with their health habits. Okay, stay consistent with health habits. Too broad. Get specific with a pain point that you solve. Whether like some of our clients help people who are struggle with IBS or with painful endometriosis or with stubborn fat loss. Like get specific with a pain point. Call it up. Melissa, you find an account for dry eye sufferer. I've seen multiple physicians, but still suffering other irritated red eyes. Melissa, I would have a question for you. How do these people label themselves? Do they label themselves as dry eye sufferers? Or is there like a specific name that they're like, yeah, I know it's not eczema, but like I have eczema or something like that that's a bit more specific that like really snaps and kind of calls out them. I found an account for brothers who with demanding Christian start to lose weight and build muscle. Omar, I like that. There's just so many people who like lose weight, build muscle. Get more specific if you can somehow, because there's just so many lose weight, build muscle people. Like we want to be able to stand out a little bit better. Even throw that into ChatGPT and ask it like, hey, how can I get more specific to people, or what kind of angle can I take to make it more specific? Or Risha, you find an account for women trying. Okay, this is awesome, folks. This is awesome. You find an account for physicians who are going through or at risk for going through a peer review process. Okay, for sure, and that's really, really great. I think who are going through or at risk for going through, I'd find a way to somehow simplify that. It's a little bit complicated. Women who are tired of their pelvic pain and constant flare-ups taking over their life. Arisha, love that. That's amazing. I would just put a qualifier before women. Again, I'd put like professional women or even like some of our clients will do like busy moms, like have something that actually calls to a bit more of a specific demographic. You always want to make sure that the demographic is specific, the pain point is really specific, and the goals are very specific, right? So we just want, and then, making it simple overall. So I'm liking these folks. We don't have 28 yet. I'm wanting to make sure that the rest of you are actually listening and doing something. So here's what I want you to do is tomorrow, you're going to film, you're going to text, and create the text and the caption, and you're going to send me your version of the video. I'm going to be a little bit ruthless with giving you feedback because guess what? Again, I want this to work so well for you so that you absolutely love us. So I'm going to give you very direct feedback so that you can get the best results possible, okay? So if I come in there and I kind of tear apart some stuff, it's done out of love. Morgan, you found an account that teaches high-achieving women to manage their high stress without quitting their jobs. That's pretty good. Again, we need to get clear on like high stress, like what are the symptoms with this, like high-achieving women to manage their high stress. Yeah, I think we need to, like, again, we need to get more specific. Like, what do these people call themselves? Dry eye sufferers or people with blepharitis? Okay, I don't know how to say that, Melissa. But if people, once they get diagnosed, know that word, like, for example, if someone gets diagnosed as a diabetic, they label themselves as a diabetic. So if people label themselves with a word, use that word. Need to narrow mine down. I don't have a specific enough niche. Yeah, for sure, Deborah. That's we definitely need to make it specific. Quick note for all of you. Thank you so much, by the way, for interacting with that. You're going to post this from your phone, but when you go to boost it, you're going to do it from your desktop. The reason being is if you try to boost from your phone, Apple's going to charge you 30% more. And we don't need to give Apple more money than we already have because their computers are expensive. I do love them, but they're expensive. So you're going to post it on your phone. You're going to post this like as an organic reel on Instagram, but then you're going to go to your desktop to boost it. Okay. Keep on commenting down below, folks, your stuff. I can come back to them. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to show you basically how this can be set up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you the back end of this. Because the back end isn't that complicated, but we do need to make sure that you folks understand how to do this properly. Here, I'm going to share my screen. Folks, can you see my Instagram back here? Comment down below if you can. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go over to your reel on your profile on the desktop, and then you're going to click Boost the Reel. It's a big blue button. It's hard to miss. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to do the visit your profile, because the whole idea for this is an awareness campaign, like it's to get followers, right? So visit your profile. And then you want to basically, it's going to ask you like, who should see your ad? Now, there's two options here. If you have a great following with a ton of ideal clients, then just do people similar to your followers. Very easy. If you don't have a great audience or you're not sure if your ideal clients are following you, then you're going to go ahead and create your own audience. Okay? Fairly simple. You're going to name your audience. Let's just say health pros, location. I mean, for most of the people that we work with, they do like North America. So they'll do Canada, let's say they do the USA. They kind of go with like that, okay? Now, what we usually do is minimum age. I just really highly recommend having like 30 as like a minimum age. A lot of people try to work with people in their 20s and they just like, they're kind of broke. They don't have a lot of money oftentimes. So oftentimes we're going to go with something like this. So we have health pros. Actually, I'm going to go into and make this a little bit more specific yet. So you can actually do like maximum age or minimum age. So I usually like to make this like only like a 20-year gap. Usually, let's say like something like that. I would do male or female. Don't do all. Okay. Again, you need to have a specific niche. So either do male or female. And then you can also do like interests, right? So you can do interests like if I wanted to go after health professionals, I would do like health and wellness, or I would do dietetics or like plant-based diet or something like that. Simple healthy diets. Like I'd probably choose something like that. So choose some interest, just get specific with it. So that's what you're going to do. Now, for most of you, you're not one of our clients. Our clients, we have them set up properly. So we do $10 a day. Start at $5 a day. And then just set a duration. Just do it for 7 days. Okay, 7 days, nice and easy. But that is what you have to do. And then guess what? You just boost the reel. It's that simple. Okay. And so what we're going to do is, this is what we're going to do tomorrow. And by the way, we'll do a little Q&A here at the end here. Okay, I want to make sure that all of you folks are set up so that you're good to rock and roll with this tomorrow. But again, what you're going to do is you're going to film, put the text on the screen and the caption, and you're going to DM me on Instagram. If you don't know my, it's just Ruben Trieger on Instagram. I'm going to give you feedback. You're going to go ahead and post this from your phone, and then you're going to go to your desktop and you're going to boost things. Does that sound like a plan? Comment down below, plan, if that sounds like a plan, folks. The whole idea behind this is that business feels hard for a lot of people. And here's the truth, okay? Business can either be hard work and get no results, or it can be hard work and great results, okay? Business is kind of like I'm training for an ultra marathon right now where I'm going to go run in the mountains for, I don't know, for a couple hours, probably 6-7 hours. The training for an ultra marathon is going to be hard no matter what. But there are some training plans and some coaches and some strategies that are going to get me incredible results. And then there's some that are going to get me half average, half like kind of ass results. So business is going to be hard no matter what, just because guess what? It's not a 9 to 5. You have to get good at marketing and selling and all these different skills. But you might as well get great results. You might as well make great money, help a lot of people, because business is harder than a job. you should get more out of it from a fulfillment side of things, but also from an income side of things, right? If you're going to spend the time to become a business owner, we might as well make sure that it's worth it and it doesn't feel always like so heavy and like you're really stuck in business, okay? So this is going to be the plan for tomorrow. So here's what I want to do. If you're kind of like me and you're like, you know what? I want to get this implemented ASAP. I want to get more followers coming in. I just want to like really, really crush it with things. If some of you are just like, hey, you know what? This is the exact system I need. I want to chat with Ruben's team and see how they can support me. I want to give an option here. We're going to move into Q&A here in a second. If you want to book a call with our team where they can go basically look over your Instagram, your niche, your offer, your price point, make sure that your Instagram profile is set up properly, and actually walk you through how the system can be installed into your business to get you to your first, maybe it's 10K month or 20K month, or even to your first 50K month. You can go ahead and book a call in with our team. The link is there, okay? We would love to chat with you and walk through all the pieces to make sure that everything is set up properly, okay? So you can go ahead and book in a call with our team to hear about how our program works and see if it's a good fit for you. We're not the crazy type of people who are going to like bite you on the call and pressure you into stuff. If it's not a good fit, cool. Like literally the call is legitimately a good fit call. If my team doesn't think that you're going to be a good client, they're not going to let you into the program because we only want to work with amazing people who are hard workers, who are coachable, who have a heart for helping other people, and just want to learn how to get some clients, okay? So if that is you, go ahead and book a call. We'll also be sending out the link later if you miss it now. So let's move into Q&A, folks, okay? Let's move into Q&A. I'm sure that there is a ton of questions coming off of this here today, and I want to make sure that all of your questions are answered. So let's go ahead and let's do this actually. Nora, I love this. You find an account for savage entrepreneurs who are struggling to take action on things that actually might who are struggling to take action. Let's get more clear on that. Like who are completely blocking themselves, who are like, I think we need to get more clear on the pain point, Nora, okay? I do like this, but we need to get more clear on the pain point. So here's what we're gonna do. For those of you who have a question, comment down below. We do this with our clients. Comment down below the number 1 if you have a question, and I will get you one at a time to unmute yourself, and then we'll actually ask the questions. Is it normal that the link isn't working for me? That's a great question. Are you talking about the link to book a call, Bianca? Let me know if it is, if that's the work. I just checked it. It's working for me. That is really odd. Is it not working for other people? Comment down below if it's not working for you either. It did look like it was working for me. Here, I will go get another link while we're doing the questions. But who has a question that they would like to start with based off of everything that we talked about today? Go ahead, comment down below a 1. It's working for you? Okay, awesome. Bianca, just send me a message over on Instagram. Sometimes it's being stupid. It's being stupid. So let's go into questions, folks. Who has questions about mini ads, how to set them up, how to make sure it's working, and how to make sure that it's getting clients for you folks? Okay. One, Sam. Okay, Sam has a question. Sam, go ahead and unmute yourself and let's dive into your question.
Okay, so it's a little bit off topic, but obviously you said that we have to have everything looking good before the ads are even worth using. But
yeah,
so when it comes to like the 4th part, the likability part,
yeah,
how would you recommend like talking about like hobbies, personal stuff, if it doesn't relate to your niche? For example, make it more tangible.
Yeah.
I chose ex-athletes in their 30s because I know they're going to be hard workers and I know they're going to have money, but that's not necessarily my interest.
For sure, 100%. So here's the truth. So I like to, I'll share this by sharing my personal examples. I share in my content, like me being out in the mountains and me doing these different things in my life, but I do bring it back to like comparing it to business and talking about these different things. And for some reason, not all of our clients, but a lot of our clients who end up joining our program are people that like to spend time outside as well. And they like to be active and they like to do these different things. And I like to share those aspects because also it does set me apart from other people. Like there's a lot of business coaches who they live in these big cities, they live in these high rises, drive these Lamborghinis, and I'm like the opposite of like I'm like climbing up the side of this mountain, just like chilling on a Saturday, helping out professionals. It helps me stand out, right? And so what I would say is, as far as like being likable, is be yourself authentically. Also, it helps with your content sometimes to have like differences than your competitors. But I often try to tie it back to my ideal clients and what they want, right? So I would use pieces of your life, but I would use them tastefully, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, really great question. Awesome. Who else got a question, folks? Either people are scared to ask questions, or I answered all of them. Hoping it's the second one. So if you don't have questions, folks, it's probably because
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes, Melissa, let's go for it.
Okay, so I'm in my car listening.
No need to apologize. You are here, and I'm proud of you for that.
Okay, so my question is, because I do two things. So I do ophthalmology, and I'm a dry eye specialist, but I also do aesthetics. And my friend and I are starting a practice where we're helping people lose weight, but also not where they lose it, and we do aesthetic procedures. So you lose weight, but you still look good at the same time. So like, I know you said you want to see us have something up for tomorrow. I could probably do that for my eye business, but not for the other one. But so does this still work for when you need to get people to come in to your practice as well, or only for like online or things like that? Yes.
Good question. So we have seen it work okay for in-person practices. Okay, so we have seen it work fairly good. I will say that probably 90 to 95% of the clients that we're working with are using it for the remote online stuff.
Okay.
And so that's what we're more so specialized in. I just want to be completely transparent with you.
Right.
So I would probably use this for your irritable eye kind of stuff versus the in-person practice, just because there's a lot more proof of it working. I just like to be transparent.
Okay.
Like, it's not that it doesn't work for in-person stuff, but it just has been shown to work better for this, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I know of a doctor who she does counsel people far away for dry eye and things like that. So it's possible. I just don't know what the price point would be for doing that. So yeah.
For sure. If you have some more specific questions around that, you can DM me on Instagram, and I can probably walk you through a little bit of what would be helpful.
Okay. That. What specifically, I'm sorry, is your Instagram? I don't know.
Yeah, here, let me, I'm going to put it down below in the chat here, folks. If you're not following me on Instagram, shame on you. No, I'm kidding. Don't.
No, I just don't know everybody's Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm new to Instagram. It's very new for me.
No worries, folks. Here, I'm putting my Instagram link down below. You make sure to give me a follow, because you're going to be DMing me tomorrow with some of this stuff. And I am posting on other platforms. I am not going to be responding on other platforms because we just have too many messages already. So you can message me over there. But great question, Melissa. Bianca has a question. Bianca, go for it. Unmute yourself, ask your question.
Oh yeah, perfect. So basically, I'm based in Quebec, and in the province, we are very French speaking, and it's very hard to outreach to other provinces in Canada. So do you have any insight on like how to outreach more of the, like all of the Canadian provinces? Because the thing is, like, we do have like specific orders. Like I can't practice in other provinces other than my own.
Yeah, for sure. So this is more of like a legal question. Number one, I'm not a legal advisor. So usually you have two options here from what I've seen. Is either like we would just make your mini ad specifically go to, like, let's say Quebec. So like that's part of it. And we might even call out the location in the text, and like basically throw the location in the back end and on the text to just like make it a bit more specific. It totally would still work. The other thing that people have done in those situations, which most people don't want to do, only a couple people have done it, is they've changed their designation or what they're calling themselves so that they're not under certain boards or whatever it is, just to basically work around. Again, I'm not a legal advisor, so, but both of those we've seen work and be legal. Again, I don't know the specifics of some of them. That'd be probably a better question to ask some type of lawyer. But if you want to just get clients from Quebec, I would just use the mini ads specifically targeted to that.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, these are great questions. Who else got a question, folks? I'm going to stay on here for another 5 minutes, and then we need to rock and roll. But yeah, comment down below, folks, if you have a question. But what I will say here is with the mini ads, I want to give you folks just a bit of a timeline. If you set it up properly, within 24 hours, you're getting new followers. And here's the cool thing is if you then learn how to turn these followers into discovery goals and into basically clients, you can start having people sign up for your programs within a couple of weeks. On the fast end, we have clients post a boosted post, and some of them are getting clients within 5 to 7 days. That's the really fast end. Sometimes it takes 20 to 30 days. But this is a type of system that can literally attract the right person into your orbit tomorrow. And then you just need to be really good at posting organic content, having conversations with people, really good at sales. So the speed at which this could work for you is an absolutely, like this is why we tell our clients to use it. Because so many of you have probably posted organically for a long time, or you've tried ads and it hasn't worked. This is kind of the hybrid in the middle that's working so well. So we're going to take one last question. If we have one last question, I'm going to drop the link down below here again. If you folks have not had a chance to go ahead and book a call with our team is going to walk you through, and they're going to look at your Instagram as well to make sure it's set up properly. But if you're really serious about the next couple months gaining traction and finally feeling like your business is going somewhere, this is where you need to be, okay? Working with a mentor to help you through these things. Psalm has a question, and then Henderson. We'll do Psalm and Henderson, and then we need to hop off for the day. Psalm, go for it.
Okay, you said you wanted me to go deeper when I shared the POV paragraph.
Yes.
I'm wondering, because I'm thinking to myself of like people coming onto my page. I don't know that I don't like speaking to coaches and healers, but if I don't call out coaches and healers, I'm a marketing coach. I help people with their messaging. How am I going? What was that?
Who do you want to work with?
I want to work with. I want to work with people who are motivated, who are passionate, and this is a conversation I have every day.
Hey, who is the best client you've ever worked with?
She was a college coach, but I don't understand her real life day to day, so I don't want to market to college coaches. Like, for example, like I need to speak to someone who's like me.
Who is like the second best client you've ever had then?
I have a health coach I really like, but I'm not a health. See, I'm not a health coach.
You don't have to be a health coach. Is that health coach that you love working with? Are they getting good results?
Well, she is having a divorce, so she has to pause. But I love her.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a bigger question. I know I've been like on the fence with you forever, but I don't know. I think it has to be me, right? If I'm going to speak to people in a way where they're like, God damn it, she gets me, she understands me. Like I have to be inside their world already. So I was thinking maybe Ayurvedic practitioners, because I know I'm certified.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I just have never had clients.
Yeah, for sure. That's okay. I'm going to give you some peace of mind. People are often scared of getting so specific because they're like, what if it doesn't work for me? Here's how to calm the nervous system. You're only dating this niche, but you have to give it 3 to 4 months. Okay? You have to date it for a couple months to see if it works. So many people hop from niche to niche to niche to niche to niche, or they just don't niche down. I always tell people, pick one specific one, do it for 4 months. Worst case, you get some clients, you learn how to sell, you learn how to attract people, and you realize that you didn't like it, but guess what happened? You made money and you built skills. So then you can shift it. But if you hop every month or you never settle, you'll never gain those skills, you'll never earn the income, and you'll never actually really know if the niche worked or not. So date it for 3 to 4 months, give it a real go, and get specific with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got this. Henderson, last question of the day.
I'm sure you said this, but the POV that we're working on.
Yes.
Where does that go? What is that? Where is that? Where are we putting that?
Yeah,
Or is that
100%.
just
So
you?
here, I'll show it to you again. And by the way, folks, everyone, I have like a 4-page workbook that goes over all the specifics of this with more examples. Again, all you have to do is send me a message on Instagram. I'll send it over to you so that you have a lot of it. But here, Henderson, I'm going to pull up again the example that I was showing. The POV goes on the B-roll video. Okay, so it's going to go on the post because that's how we're going to call out people who come across this post. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you folks can all see this. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, so POV is right here. You can see POV, you finally found an account for diabetics that helps you. Actually, here's what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to grab this post and I'm going to drop it in the channel here, okay, for all of you. This is going to make it easy, okay? Everyone, grab this link that I just sent you, okay, and go hide it somewhere. Not hide it, but go put it somewhere so that you have it. You have an example of this, and this client, Danica, she went from never having a client online to like having her first 14K month in, I think, her second or third month working with us with this exact boosted post. So that's where it goes. It goes because basically you want to think about it like this. When someone's video, what's the first thing that they're going to see, right? Her account said she had 40 followers in November. Yeah, exactly, folks. So I don't know what's happening with my video. So you want to call people out right there at the beginning of the video. These are great questions, folks. She's 13K now. Yeah, absolutely crushing it. So here's what I want you folks to do. If you want to get the best, so if you want to get good results, I want you all to put this thing together, send it to me tomorrow morning. I'll give you feedback. We post it, we get it up. If you want good results, let's do that. If you want great results, I'd highly recommend booking in one of those Instagram strategy sessions with our team. They'll walk you through the entire Instagram strategy, make sure that you're set up fully from getting the followers, but actually understanding what strategies you need to then turn followers into clients. Because basically, like I said at the beginning, there's 2 skill sets that every great coach needs when it comes to getting clients. Attraction, which we talked about today, okay? Attraction, getting the right follower to follow you. The second thing is conversion. How do you turn these followers, these strangers, into clients? And that'll be another workshop for that one. But at this point, here's the truth. If you had hundreds of the right people following you every single week, if you're already posting content, if you're already having conversations, you can get clients off of that. And then installing a better conversion system will just allow you to convert more of them. So that being said, folks, I need to run. My wife is making dinner tonight and I need to go run over home. But like I said, go ahead, book in a call with our team. Make sure to send me a message tomorrow with the video. I'll give you some feedback on it. Let's go get some followers. Let's go change some lives. Sound good? If that sounds good, comment down below. Sounds good down below, folks. Thank you so much for jumping on here today. I've appreciated it. And if you folks need anything else, you have my Instagram profile. So go ahead, send me a message, folks. We'll be sending you an email and a text with the mini course tomorrow, and also with a call link if you missed it. So have a